Hi, Tony here. And if you've got a dog that is a problem getting into the car, then this film is for you. You'd think that getting a dog into a car is a pretty mundane, everyday thing, but not for certain dogs, because if you think about it, they're being put into a small space, which is then going to go at hell's pace throughout the pressure cooker world that they live in. And so some dogs don't like the look of it and don't like the feel of it and pretty much really don't want to go in. And we can understand that. What we've got to do is encourage them to see that as it's not a problem, it's not a big deal, it's not going to kill them. So we need to give them some short, sweet lessons, one bit at a time, and being patient. Now the film you're about to see is of a dog called Huxi that I took with his human Sonia over in Aarhus in Denmark. And Huxi was originally a street dog in Greece and then was rescued and brought all the way to Denmark. Turns out he probably didn't enjoy that voyage, because ever since then he's not been a fan of getting in the van. And so what we wanted to do is to see if we could get him in, but of course the issue here is not making him freak out anymore. So we've got to take our time, we've got to be patient, and we've got to do it one little step at a time. And as you'll see, it doesn't quite go to plan perfectly, but then it never does. But well, you'll see what happens.
Let's go with what you usually do.
On the side.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so it doesn't want to go in. Not particularly keen. Yeah. Okay, so we want to make it so he starts to feel that that space is not so much of a problem, and we don't want to force him, obviously, so yeah. Okay. So what we've done here is we've removed that crate over there from here, because we want to make that space a bit bigger, first of all, because that can be a very cramped space, and he's a tall dog. So we're going to just try and get him to just put his front paws on there. Sonia's going to get in first to show it's not a danger. And also, as you can see here, we've got some chicken to try and make it a positive experience. So that we're going to make the first introductions to the back of the van short, sweet, non-traumatic. So he's going to go in, then out, and then, oh, was that it? Okay, maybe it's not something to be afraid of. Put it a little bit further back so he actually has to stretch more. That's good, that's a good start, excellent. That can be the end. That's it. Good, so he's getting those front paws in, so that's good. He got something positive out of it, and he's not dead, excellent. So now what we'll do is we'll see if we can get further back in.
Yes.
Let's see if we can get him to go further in. But what I'll do is ask you to hitch back so your back's against that, okay? Great. This is much more of a really getting him to stretch. Now, what he'll try and do maybe with those back feet is keep them back, there.
Yes.
We'll try that again.
Okay. Folks.
Yes, this is a bit more of a proposition for him. So we're not going to force him in.
I think he hurt himself on this one.
Yeah, he caught himself on there. Yeah. So that's not going to help necessarily. Now I'm in to see if I can lure him in as well. Huxi! Huxi! Boy, there's the cheese. There's the chicken. Good boy. And then just explore it. Think, okay, well that's it. And think about it. Some dogs are just not keen about this because it's such a confined space.
Yeah.
And also then you start it up and it's making noise and the dog's going, where the hell am I? And if they can see out the windows and what's all this stuff doing all around, it's, if just taking your dog out as a pressure cooker, this is a pressure cooker in a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So it's understandable that some dogs are reticent. So we're going to be, be patient with him. but give him a good reason.
Foxy?
Hooksy! Hooksy! Good boy. Just making it here so he's really got to get in. So that's a... Put it there. Nice back fits. I like the chicken, but I'm not keen on here. That's the chicken. I'll put it even further in now. Now he really has to stretch to get that to the point where he might have to jump in. So we're sweetening the deal. Hooksy! Hooksy! Whoa. There's a whole lot of chicken here. Look at all this chicken. Look at that. So I don't want to look at it.
Nope.
Hooksy! Come on, good boy.
Foxy, come.
Where was over there? Is there something?
Yeah, there's something.
Okay.
There's someone. Foxy, come. Take it. Yeah, good.
And there's more even there, but he's got... Oh, back legs are still in. Okay, but we're building up his confidence into just the idea of getting into the space. So I've got to really put it right at the back here. So he's there. The chicken is there. He's got to come all the way in to get it. That's a big thing.
Foxy, come.
Good boy. And he can do it, he can jump up. But we're not going to force him, we're not going to start yanking on that leash because that's going to turn it into a negative situation. You've got to see that there's nothing to worry about. So what we can do is we can practice just sitting in here with no intention of him joining us. Come in, have a cup of coffee, read a book or something,
Yeah.
and just have the treats maybe there so that if he decides to come in, he'll get the treats. And when he does that, we're not necessarily going to make a big fuss of him.
Yeah.
He's got in of his own free will, nothing bad happened, and he can get out. You've still got the leash on him, so you've got
Yeah.
that control.
Yeah.
But you just make it banal, you make it boring rather than something that's, oh, this is a big event.
Yeah.
Which is usually what happens when people get their dogs into cars,
Yeah.
because they're going somewhere.
Yeah.
They need to do something rather than thinking, how can I practice getting the dog used to it, to something which is completely alien to them,
Yeah.
and taking the time out to do it.
Yeah.
And when he finally makes that step, when he finally thinks, I'm going to try, he plucks up the courage and then jumps in, what you'll find is once he's done that once,
Yeah.
it's no
It's
longer
no
an
long-
unknown, it's
Yeah.
something that he can get.
Yeah.
He understands the concept.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We don't get excited even if he's thinking it's a problem. So he's looking in a few more times now, thinking, why are you in there?
And just avoid eye contact
Yeah,
as I call him.
just bring him in a little bit off the road. I know it's a very quiet road.
Foxy.
So just bring him in. You'd have to ask him. They're just,
Okay.
it's just for his safety there.
Okay.
And just, yeah, there's just rewards here. But you got to come and get them. Yeah, you got to figure that out. So that's the dilemma in his head now. So I want that, but I don't want to get in there. That's another time he's put his feet up there, and we didn't ask him to then.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking everywhere else except in here. If I pretend this isn't happening, maybe it's not happening. So yeah, we do this when we've got no intention of going anywhere. Then there's no pressure on you. And 5 minutes of doing this, I know it's a bit weird to sit in the back of the van and have a cup of coffee, or. But the ultimate
it
goal is,
helps.
yeah, exactly, for him to go, all right, maybe this isn't the worst thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, why are we in here? See if you can just save off the road there. mean, yeah, he used to be, what, stray, didn't he? He used to be
Yeah,
walking
he
around the
was-
streets of
I don't
Greece.
think he's born on the street. They think that
Yeah.
his mom was thrown out when she had the puppies. So
Right.
he hasn't been on the street for very long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. But then his one trip in a vehicle was a long trip
Probably, yeah.
from Greece to Denmark.
Also,
He may not have enjoyed it.
and they also probably got into the car when they saw them. You know,
Yeah.
when they found him and his mom
Yeah.
and the siblings. So might be two very difficult
Yeah.
rides.
That's okay. So just get that's just taking him off the road so he can be safe. They've given him a little bit of an option there. I've got some here. You've really got to get in for that one. Okay, I think what we'll do
Yes.
is we'll call it a day for this one, and then we'll come and try a bit later.
Yes.
Okay, just
Yeah.
so these lessons are short but sweet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So fortunately we have a dog who does like to get in the van. So I've got Foxy here so you can see, and there's chicken in that van as well, so we've sweetened the deal. And the idea is for Tessie to go in, have a grand old time with the chicken, him to see that. I think maybe that's something I want to get in on. So she's getting the chicken. Good girl. Oh, ho, ho. She's paying attention. Okay, what we might do now is if you want to see if you can call Foxy to you.
Foxy?
Yeah, look good boy. Good Susan.
Just giving us something to think about there. Foxy! Foxy! Good boy. Hey, he's all the way in. Good boy. Well done. Good boy. And that can be that. Excellent. You can see the legs are in. And then you've got a lick on the nose. That helps that you were there as well. Good stuff.
Yeah.
That was a really great result. Hooksy got in, and just so you are aware, you may have noticed at the end when he did come in, his leash did wrap round the tow bar at the end. Don't worry, I got Sonia to get out and unhook it before he jumped down so he didn't get hurt. Because you may have seen earlier in the film, he did kind of knock himself on the tow bar, and that freaked him out for a little bit. You'll also notice there were times where he did seem a bit distressed. You know, he started panting, and at one point he yawned, and at that point I thought, no, we're not going to make it any worse for you. We're going to knock it on the head and try a bit later. Make sure your lessons are short and sweet. Also, practice when you have no intention of going anywhere. Because if we're thinking, we've got to get the dog in the car because we've got to go somewhere, then the tension is going to rise and you're going to bundle the dog in the car and they're not going to enjoy themselves. So take time out when you have absolutely no intention of going anywhere, but they don't know that, and then see if you can get your dog in the car. See if you can close the doors or the boot. See if you can turn the engine on. See if you can drive it up and down just a little bit. Take it one step at a time. And the one thing I always say is, if you're patient, you'll make more progress. If you rush it, you're heading down the wrong path.